Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining the data science specific program session. We are thrilled that y'all are tuning in. My name is Sharon. I'm a member of our team in recruitment and admissions, and I will pass it to the rest of the team to introduce themselves. We've got a great lineup, so really excited to learn a little bit more about data science. So with that, I'll let y'all take it away with the introductions.
Hi, welcome to Laurier Open House. My name is Yang Liu, and I'm the program coordinator of data science. It is my great honor today to have you with me, and I would like to introduce a little bit about our program in today's session.
Perfect. And then we also have our student as well. I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Rini. I'm a second-year data science student. I'm concentrating in financial risk and statistical analysis, and I'm excited to get to share my experiences today.
Awesome. Thanks so much. And with that, we have a presentation, so I'll let you take it away and go from there.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay, let's start. Well, it is my great honor today to have this opportunity to introduce our program to you. Well, as the era of big data arrives, data science has now attracted a lot of attention. So in this session, I will start with introducing briefly what data science is, and then we're going to talk about data science at Laurier. Finally, I will highlight the features and present a little bit details about our program. Well, roughly, data science is an interdisciplinary area that adopts scientific methods, models, algorithms to extract useful knowledge from those large and complicated data sets. Well, featured with full way, the big data is now known to have very big volume, very big velocity, well, very big variety, and a very big veracity. To meet the challenges arise, data science is developed on top of many topics, including data management, data analysis, well, machine learning, and a lot more. So you might have heard a lot of training words that people talk a lot about this. So, in the past few years, you have witnessed the dramatic changes made by data science from different sectors. For example, from internet, as in recommender systems, image processing, the speech recognition, so on and so forth. Firstly, in addition to the efforts from the academic communities, so industrial companies have now become the driving force behind many successful data science modern techniques. For example, many of you may have heard of TensorFlow. So TensorFlow was originally developed by Google Brain, but just for internal use. But it was so successful that it was later released as an open source software for machine learning and has been so widely adopted by multiple deep neural network applications, such as those in natural language processing, the speech recognition, and image processing. Right. Well, data science, actually, compared to other traditional programs, is relatively young. However, so actually, our Bachelor of Science is the first undergraduate degree of this kind in Canada. So we are the first. Well, the program is actually a collaboration between multiple departments, including Department of Physics and Computer Science and Department of Mathematics. Well, students in our program will grasp knowledge, including mathematics, statistics, computer science, and even some elements from business. So compared to, well, this is a general distribution of the courses in our program. Well, from here you can see that our honor BS in data science consists of a minimum of 40 different courses. So the program follows a basic hub and spoken structure. So for the core piece, for the hub components. The program consists of 24 different courses. From here, you can see that we got 11 from computer science, another 11 from math and statistics, and 2 from business. And for concentration, refer to the spoken part. So we got 5 different courses. That's represented using this purple color. So the rest of them would be considered as electives. So students may get the flexibilities to dive into other topics that they like in the future. So speaking of concentrations, up to now, we are offering 3 different concentrations, including 2 hosted by the Math and Statistics Department, was financial risk analysis and statistical analysis. Also, there's 1 concentration hosted by the Computer Science Department. It is called the Big Data. So in addition to that, we're also offering the management option. Basically, the management option is a direct entry program for students with relatively higher GPAs when they enter the university. This option is meant to be combined with a major from faculties from, say, arts, science, music, and maybe Department of Economics. So in order to get this option, you might have to take a set of courses, including 6 from business and 1 from economics. So another frequently asked question is, are there co-op options? The answer is yes. Co-op is available to data science students. However, it is on a competitive basis. So it is expected that around half the students will eventually enter this co-op option every year. And we got a registration period. So more specifically, it will be in the 2nd year, so the first term of the 2nd year. So we have given you some examples for those co-op options. So up to now, our students are working in different industrial companies like Manulife, BlackBerry, Duncare, so on and so forth. So there are some examples from the co-op option. I guess that's all for the brief introduction. Thank you for your attention.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Now, I do have a couple questions for you as well, just a little bit more information about it. So my first question is, what is the main difference between computer science and then the data science programs?
Well, actually, you can see that, well, data science degree include more courses centered around the more fundamental pieces of the computer science, right? So such as those courses may include like operating systems, like hardware and computer networks. Well, data science students who are interested in those courses can also took these courses as electives, actually. So the data science degree include much more statistics and mathematics compared to computer science. It also gets some required course offered by the computer science department, including machine learning and data mining. Well, again, the computer science major students could also take machine learning or data mining, but it is not required. So that's one major difference. Well, actually in the first year, computer science students and math students are taking very similar courses. For example, CP104, CP164, and some math courses. But say the data science students might be required to take some additional courses coming from the data science program, for example, Data 100, and some courses from business and economics.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Very helpful to understand those differences, as I think a lot of students might think of them as extremely similar or very the same, or maybe are looking for one thing in computer science, but realize it's actually in data science. So really great. Thank you so much. And then my other question for you would be, you briefly went through the different concentrations that are available. many of them can the students take in data science, and what can students do in the various different concentrations after they graduate?
Well, the students may actually complete 1 or 2 out of the 3 concentrations we offer right now. So the concentration in financial risk analysis would prepare the students for careers in financial and banking industry. And for the concentration in statistical analysis, it would prepare the students to get enough knowledge and training to do data analysis and to become a data scientist. Also, the concentration in big data, just as introduced, is offered by the computer science department. So the students will get more privilege to study some data, to study more the network and become data solution architect and become the software developers.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's very, very helpful for sure. And now I want to ask some questions to our student who's currently living the life of a data science student. So one thing that I have for you is, what have you liked best about your program?
Yeah, so I remember when I was deciding between schools, I noticed that at a lot of the other universities, they had a lot of specific requirements for the electives in terms of general education. And so you didn't have much freedom to choose what classes you wanted to take. But at Laurier, they give you a lot of freedom in your electives, so you can take classes that directly align with your interests. You can have your entire course load data science related classes, which is something that was really important to me. So I really liked that. And then about Laurier in general, I really appreciated that they offer a lot of math support and computer programming support, which tend to be the really difficult classes. So having a lot of student-led study sessions and homework drop-in centers constantly throughout the day was something that really, really helped me. And then I also liked that Laurier has, it's a smaller school, and so you're able to get closer with the faculty in the data science related courses, and you can get close with your advisors and a lot of the other students. So that was always great for me.
Absolutely. And I think that's always, again, I've been saying these in quite a bit of our videos, it's a very common theme of your classes getting to know each other, you're getting to know your professor as well, which is pretty sweet. So we actually want to hear a little bit more about your experience in your first year. Most people that are watching might be coming into first year soon. What would you say was a little challenging? I know you had mentioned that earlier, and then the supports that were available to that. And just typically, what would a life for a first year student look like in the data science program?
Yeah, so overall, I really enjoyed my first year at Laurier, although I will say that the transition from high school to university was definitely something that was difficult to me in terms of adjusting to the course load. But by the time I got to second semester, I had a much better idea of what was expected of me at the university level and how to tackle courses. And I think over time, I also learned how to study properly, what works best for me. And so by the time I got to second semester, everything was a lot more calming. So in my first year, one of the more difficult courses that I took was data analytics, which is what data science students take their first year. I think it's Data 100. But they do offer a lot of resources and a lot of material that if you read through, you will do great in the class. And you'll also gain a lot of data science skills right off the bat that you can apply to your own personal projects. I know I used a lot of what I learned in that class this summer. And then as for a typical day in my life first year is I'd go to classes in the mornings. They'd end around 12 to 2. And then afterwards, I'd go to Lazaridis Hall, or I'd study. I really liked going there because that's where all the math support was. But nowadays they have it virtually online, so I do still go to that. And I also really liked going there because I always saw someone I knew there. So it was really nice to talk to my friends and study with them while also being around a lot of people who could help me out. And then in the evening, I always had a good amount of time to rest and do club related activities. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, you're making me like reminisce my time as a student. Like I love just like being in labs or like in the science atrium, just kind of like getting work done, just hanging out with people, being close to all of those resources.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, definitely.
Super fun. And then lastly, what I want to just ask you is, like you had mentioned, there's definitely a difference in workload coming from high school to university. So how did you learn how to balance the workload? And I know you said you were joining clubs like later in the evening. Like talk a little bit about how you found that free time to pursue different interests other than that in your classroom as well.
Yeah, so a good work-life balance is definitely something that's important to me, and it is difficult to maintain in university. And in my first year, I did struggle with it a lot, but after going through my first year, I did pick up on some tactics that work for me to manage my time, and it's given me a lot more free time now. Like being in second year, I have a lot more free time just because I know how to manage my time better. But something I like to do is I always study now in blocks of 4 hours. So I'd find 4 hours out of my day, and I'd spend that whole time studying. But of course, I'll take regular breaks every 45 minutes, 1 hour. But having that large chunk of time is good for me because it doesn't break my concentration. And then also seeking help. I'm constantly asking my professors for help, sending them emails, and doing the homework drop-in centers where upper year students have helped me, and reaching out to friends. So by constantly seeking help, I ended up not needing to study as much. So yeah, that's really helped me. And also exercising. Just taking 30 minutes out of my day to exercise really helps increase my energy throughout the day and my productivity. And I can also focus better when I'm studying. So with all of that, I always had a good amount of time to do clubs, although first year I wasn't in too many clubs, but now I think a lot of my peers are able to join more clubs and pursue their interests outside of just the academics classes now that they are able to manage their time better.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. And I just think it's so important to have that time management to learn how to balance your workload, so you have that that time to study, but you also have the time to just really dive into your passions. And I think that's what Laurier is about too, is having that community, and not only having that common ground in academics, but also in all the clubs and extracurriculars as well. So with that, I just wanted to thank you for hanging out for a little bit to just bring your expertise and your knowledge all about the data science program. For all of you students watching in, just wanted to remind you, if you haven't already visited our virtual Laurier experience online, that you can go there, and then you'll find tours of our campus. You'll be able to see a presentation. And then what I particularly love is the Ask Me Anything, where you can book a one-on-one with one of our campus ambassadors. So if you want to keep chatting about the data science program, you can go ahead and book with one of our specific campus ambassadors in that. And we'd definitely love to help you out and just chat with you. And we really look forward to that. So again, thank you so much for the both of you for tuning in, and for everybody watching. We really hope to connect with you soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.